In this video, I'm going to talk about how to handle surfaces that have a lot of break line information in them, and this can have the effect of creating many triangles, which are require additional steps to manage. So in this data set, what we'll find is there are this green layer here, which I'll now isolate, consists of quite a number of 3D polylines that were generated using the XYZ coding feature. And actually, if I turn off my grips, then I can pick on it, and you can see just from the density of vertexes just how dense these are. And so these are very accurate, but they can also have the effect of introducing lots of additional triangles to your surface. So for that reason, we're not going to treat these as regular break lines. It's actually more efficient to let them just act as lines, and what Microsurvey CAD will do in effect is just use the vertexes that are on the lines. It won't make it, so that way we're not making the surface any more dense than we need to. And so what I'll do here is I'll just zoom in, and we'll see that with 3D arcs, 3D arcs are actually not really arcs, they're actually little broken up straight line segments. And so I'll just do a distance check here and just see what the minimum distance is. They're about that long, so it looks like the arcs were drawn at 0.1 apart, which is pretty tight, but we'll work with it. And so I definitely don't need to densify these points at all, but there are going to be places, for example, in here, if I pick on it, we can see that we have a little break where we don't have too many vertices. And so I think maybe I'll pay attention to that. So I'm going to do another distance check. And we can see that that is roughly, here I'll turn off ortho, it is just roughly 50 units in length. And so I would say, given that scale, I think I'll set my densify setting to, let's make it about 25. So that means it'll only interpolate one additional vertex along this whole straight line, which I think I'd be happy with. Okay, so let me show you where I was thinking of changing the densify setting. So back to MS Modeling, Configuration Settings. When you go to data extraction, normally the program makes up its own mind about how it's going to densify step size when you pick on a line to add it to a surface. In this case, I do not want it to use auto. I want to set it to 25. So that means for really long lines, it'll extrapolate a few extra points. But for all those little straight lines that are only 0.1 long, it won't create anything extra. Okay, so now that that's set, I'm not going to add as a break line. I'm just going to add all these additional lines to the surface, and you will find there's plenty of density. So back to extract a surface, I'm going to add it to the ground surface, pick on OK, window it all in, and let it work. And now we can see our surface is up to over 200,000 points. And so once I've got it to this stage, I don't want to do anything with it other than save it, just because it might have taken us a few minutes to get there. So let's go in here and we'll write a QSB. And I'll save a surface before I do anything else. So notice how this surface currently only has points in it. It doesn't have any breaks or tin in it. Next video, we'll talk about how to visualize this surface.